Welcome back. It is now 7:23. The University of Illinois is compiling data on police-involved deadly shootings in a way that has never been collected before. It is called the SPOTLITE project. A snapshot shows a 24% reduction in police use of lethal force nationwide. Professor Scott Althouse is director of the Klein Center for Advanced Social Research at UIUC. He is working on the project. Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
So why do this project now? And tell me the reasoning behind it.
So we started thinking about this problem of documenting police uses of lethal force back in 2014 and 2015, when we saw the rise of Black Lives Matter and protesting about policing practices. We found at that time that there was no authoritative national database for police shootings or other uses of lethal force. So we've been working since then to bring this data to the public.
I was surprised to see that by combing through the data, the SPOTLITE project identified more than 23,000 incidents of police use of deadly force. This is nationwide between 2014 and 2021. And you broke the data down in really interesting ways, and one of the ways was by county. And what did you find?
So we are documenting for each of the 3,144 counties in the country the number of police uses of lethal force that have happened over time. And that includes not only when police use a firearm, but any other use of force where somebody dies. So we're documenting these incidents so that people who live in these areas can see what has happened in their areas over the last few years, and can look up information about the characteristics of civilians that were involved in these incidents as well.
So this is all for the public. You can search by your region and you can see instances in your area. But what I saw was there were like 117 counties of all of the counties that you looked at where the majority of those incidents were focused.
That's right. So obviously, where more people gather, there are going to be more incidents of every kind. So higher population states and counties are going to tend to have more of these lethal force incidents. In fact, we found that a little bit over 40% of the counties in the United States have never had one of these incidents since 2014. So it is the case that these incidents tend to be concentrated in some places, but we want to better understand what is happening around the country, to move past the latest viral video to define what policing practices are, so that communities all across the country can have a firmer grounding in facts and in understanding what's going on, when change is needed, when it's actually happening.
You also broke it down by demographics. What did you find?
So we found that for 2022 and 2023 is the first time we've got national data on the demographic characteristics of civilians involved in these incidents. We found that 35% were African American, I believe 47% were white, 16.6% Hispanic, Latino, and so on. Those are national numbers, but what SPOTLITE dashboard allows people to do is to go look in their state and their county and see what those demographics are for themselves.
And more men than women, which probably doesn't surprise anyone.
91% male.
Why not also compile a list, and maybe this is down the road for you, of lethal force used against police officers?
So that's an important challenge to document. We are in the process of adding new data layers every month. And one of the data layers that we're going to be adding is numbers of civilians injured or killed, and also numbers of officers injured or killed. Officer safety is an important concern with these kinds of incidents, as is civilian safety. And the SPOTLITE project is designed to help communities and law enforcement to learn from what's going on around the country, to develop new model use of force policies, to improve officer training, and hopefully to get to the point where we can rebuild trust between officers and the communities that they serve.
Thank you so much, Professor. By the way, Professor Althouse was my political science professor when I was at U of I, and so it's like a big full circle moment for me to see you again. This is really exciting. Thank you for everything you're doing.
You're welcome.